Hey guys, and welcome to my very first bt9 decklist video, or video in general I should say. And you already know I gotta come through with these giveaways, and this one is gonna be exciting. bt9 is just really fun right now. So this giveaway is gonna be Gaiomon, a playset. You're gonna get a playset of Maki, Tamer, Megadramon, and then the clutch cards that I'm giving away is one box topper sealed of Tumblemon. So it's an alt art, it's a box topper. That's not much, but hey, it's an alt art and it's a box topper and it's sealed. So if you're a collector, bam. The clutch card that I'm gonna have, I don't have a playset of Gaiomon that's extra, but I do have an alt art Gaiomon to give away to you guys for free. And this artwork is just amazing. So I will be giving this away, guys, absolutely for free. All you got to do is make sure you subscribe to my channel, comment down below. On your comment, whatever comment you're gonna say, just make sure you hashtag Gaiomon, and let's get into this Master Shogun deck list. All right, guys, so let's get started with this deck list. And I am using for the Gaiomon, so the cards that I'm giving away, I'm using them in this deck list. I am focusing on a dual colored Gaiomon deck. Obviously you can just do the Greymon route, but it's everywhere, so I kind of just wanted to do a dual color one, and it is actually very good. Anyway, let's get started. So I am running 4 Gaiomon here, the new one from bt9. The reason I'm doing this is just to be able to swing over Digimon that have 15,000 or more, or 15,000, 16,000. We'll get to it when we get there, but I was running a Gurimon. You could also do the Gurimon, which when you attack, if you have 6,000 DP or more, you can draw a card. And so again, Gaiomon for DP increase. Then we're running 4 of the bt8 Agumon. He is just a fantastic searcher. Keep in mind you can get a card with Greymon in its name and 1 card with Dragonkin. So if you get a Metal Greymon, a Gaiomon, you can get both of them. If you get a Gaiomon, if you get a Black War Greymon, you can get both, because you're getting 1 for Greymon in its name, which would be Black War Greymon, and then you're getting the Gaiomon for having Dragonkin in its traits. So this Agumon is very clutch. We are running 4 in this deck list. And then the Tamermon. This Tamermon is really good because you can Digivolve from red and black, just like the Agumon. But then this one will give you 1,000 DP as long as you have 2 or more colors all turns. So that Gaiomon is always going to be at 14,000. That Black War Greymon is always going to be at 13,000. So the Tamermon is just fantastic for this, for you know, dual color decks, just because it's all turns. So even if this could go on blockers, you know, and your blockers will always have 1,000 DP. So you could kind of play around with Tamermon and kind of do different deck lists here. Then I'm running 1 of the bt5 Agumon. This one just for a searcher, and spoiler, I am running an Omnimon, but I am just running 1, and that is why I'm running only just 1 Agumon, just in case I get that Omnimon, then I can get it, but not really. It's just more another rookie slot. And then the last 4 that I'm using is the promo Agumon, just because this one is an inherit. It gives your Digimon that has Greymon in its name 2,000 DP. And then keep in mind that Gaiomon does have that effect where this card is also treated with Greymon in its name, so he will benefit from getting 2,000 DP. So now potentially jumping your Gaiomon from 14 to 16,000, or if it's 13, it'll go to 15, and then the Gaiomon will give him that additional 1,000. So now he'll be at 15, 16. So you could see why I'm kind of doing that DP. And if you don't run Gaiomon, then you're not going to be able to swing over Death Exmon, just because it's at 15, and this Agumon is gonna jump your Gaiomon into 15. So that is the reason why I'm running that Gaiomon, is so you're able to swing into that Death Exmon if you know you come into play with against it. And then obviously, of course, in Pyojimon Paladin mode is also at, no, that one's 15, but then Ryukin is also at 16. So at least, you know, you're able to clash into it if you really need to. So again, that is why I'm running doing that Gaiomon and Agumon. Moving on to the champion lineup here, I am running the 4 bt8 Greymon. This Greymon is good. You can Digivolve on top of a red or black, and then The inherit is during your opponent's turn. If you have a red Digimon in play, this Digimon gains blocker. So what's really cool is that this Greymon will inherit the 2000 DP from the Agumon. So now he's a 8000 DP champion. And then if you have Koromon underneath, now you have a 9000 champion. So now if you need to, you can swing over stuff. You can even swing over ultimates with the Greymon, having Koromon and Agumon underneath. So that's really, really nice. One of the key cards here that I think you absolutely need 4 of is this new promo Deltamon. And it is a dual color. It is a 3 cost to Evo, but he's kind of paying it forward because during your turn, when this Digimon will Digivolve into a Digimon with composite in its traits or multiple colors, which that's what this whole focus is having multiple colors, black and red, then you can reduce the memory cost of that Digimon by 2. So you're gonna see how this comes into play so much. And then when attacking for each of this Digimon's colors, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So since they're gonna be multicolor here, if you're swinging with a Gaiomon or a Black War Greymon, now you can delete 2 Digimon with 3000 DP or less because you have 2 colors. So that's pretty nasty. You can kind of, it's a way of controlling the board, especially if they're, rushing with like searchers. If they don't have anything and they're trying to search, you can just swing and delete it just with Deltamon's effect. And then if you have Black War Greymon, that's kind of a way to kind of trigger that second effect from Black War Greymon, delete something and then he unsuspends and then you can swing again. Or if not, what I like to do is I'll delete something with Deltamon's effect, unsuspend, and then I'll go into Gaiomon, and then I could swing again with that security attack +1. So this is really, really nice with this Deltamon, and we'll get into how to reduce the Digivolution cost. So we are running 4 of those. Then my last champion here is 2 of the Cyclonemon, dual colored, and because it is a Dragonkin, so it is another target for that black Agumon. Really why I do have it. And then of course his inherit is when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. And this meta, honestly, almost all the rookies that you're going to run into are just going to be 2000. So it's going to be really, really easy for you to delete these rookies either from Deltamon or Cyclonemon. So it's really, really nice. So now before we move on to the ultimates, let me talk about why I'm not running the new Greymon X Antibody or the security attack +1, which is really, really doable. So the security attack +1 and the X Antibody Greymon. The X Antibody Greymon obviously is great because it protects you. It's kind of like a delicate plan as an inherit. However, for this specific build, since I'm focusing on dual colors, those 2 Greymons aren't going to be able to Digivolve on top of the Agumon here or the Tapirmon. So it'll kind of make it clunky as opposed to kind of even flow or free flow of kind of play and not just being clunky. So you will be able to Digivolve on top of the Agumon here and on top of that Agumon. And then if you do want to add those Greymons, then I think you should just do a Greymon package and kind of just not even go for this deck list if you really do want to run that the other 2 Greymons. So now let's move on into the ultimates here. And we are running 4 of the Metal Greymon BT8. Very, very good because he Digivolves for 1, or Digivolves 1 on your opponent every time you Digivolve. Keep in mind, this does go around the X Antibody Greymon because you're not deleting it by an effect, you're Digivolving it. That isn't a form of deletion, you're just reverting it back a Digivolution source. So it's very, very good. Then after that, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. This Metal Greymon is just so clutch and you just have to run 4. Again, if you Digivolve it on top of that Deltamon, he's going to cost 2 because that Deltamon is reducing it by 2. There can be ways to make it a 1 cost or even Digivolve it for free, which we're going to get into, and it's very, very nice. And then the other part here obviously is the inherit is when it has Dragonkin or Machine in its trait, you can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, which can always be very, very good, especially if you want to kind of if you're going for if they're building up to a Metal Greymon, not a Metal Greymon, I'm sorry, if they're building up to a Metal Garurumon and you don't want it to get to X Antibody, you can swing into it Then that way, you know, you kind of prevent it from getting into X anybody, and kind of, you get what I'm trying to say. So always a good card to have. I am running 4 of those. I split up the last 4 slots for my ultimate. We'll get into the Metal Greymon here. I'm running 3 of the new bt9 Mega Dramon, and this card is very, very, very good. I honestly want to run 4, and the other Greymon I just have like as a tech option in case there's too many blockers on the board. This Mega Dramon, so it's a 4 cost. Again, if you Digivolve it from a Deltamon, it's going to cost 2. So when you Digivolve, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with a play cost of 3. And guess what costs 3? Cool Boy, all the, you know, all the rookies basically, including the X antibodies, and Kazus, and you have a lot of Tamers that cost 3, but in this specific format, we're talking about Cool Boys because they're just in every deck. This is such an easy way for you to get rid of it, and that can hinder the quickness of your opponent's you know, deck, or you know, whatever you want to call it, strategy. And then his inherit is even crazier, I think, because if this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its traits, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamer with a play cost of 3 or less. So you can keep doing it as long as you attack. When attacking, it's not once per turn, so you can do it multiple times. So if you have a Black War Greymon, you can delete up to 2 targets with this effect. Mind you, Black War Greymon's on the Digivolution effect, so do that, and then when you attack, it's just crazy. So this deck is very, very controlling, and I love it. So moving on to the next ultimate here, my Metal Greymon. The reason why I'm running this one is because of its inherit to get piercing. So it's a 3 cost. You know, you won't get the ability from Deltamon, it won't go to 1 since it's just 1 color. So he will still cost 3. Which is still good because, I mean, 3 is kind of the norm for ultimates. When attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less, which is good if you want to get rid of searchers or champions that are at 4,000, which aren't many. And then obviously you attack. Keep in mind this will get the inherit of the Agumon 2000 and then the Coromon since it has Greymon. So this could be a 10,000 DP swinger. And then obviously his inherit is if this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its traits, it gains piercing, which is very, very nice. Especially if there's blockers. If you're playing against a Metal Garurumon X anybody, you can swing into it, you'll have piercing, you'll still get through it. And then you unsuspend with Black War Greymon since you deleted a Digimon. So that is why I'm running 1, but sometimes honestly I just want to run 4 of the Mega Dramon just because it's crazy. But for now, this is my ultimate lineup. And then moving on to my Megas, I am running 3 of the Black War Greymons. I was doing 4, and the reason why I'm not doing 4, it's just to get a little more space to put in a few more cards that I have in here. I am running 4 Gaiomon. They're both really good. You can get away with getting playing 4 of each if you want to, but again, I'm using that slot for something else that you'll see in a bit. And then the real big reason why I'm running 3 is because with Gaiomon you have 4, you're gonna get Blitz when you Digivolve, so it doesn't matter if it passes your turn. And sometimes you'd prefer to have Blitz because, you know, if you go into Black War Greymon, you could delete something, but you can't attack. But with that Gaiomon, you have Blitz, and it has Security Attack +1, and then you have Reboot. It's just insane. So that's why I'm running 4 Gaiomons and 3 Black War Greymons. This Black War Greymon is very, very good, especially in this set, because when Digivolving, if this Digimon has red in its sources, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon, and if it has a black source, choose any number of your opponent's Tamers, and then you can delete them as long as they add up to 6, right? 6 or less. All turns. Once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may unsuspend this Digimon. This Black War Greymon in this format, I think, is so much better. And I mean, you have Cool Boys with 3, right? So I'm always gonna have red inherits and black inherits. So let's say, you know, they start off and they played a Cool Boy, they got a Searcher, and now they play their Searcher. I can go into this Black War Greymon and I can clear that Cool Boy and that Searcher because they're both 6, they're 3 and 3. Or you can get rid of 2 Cool Boys. They're both 3 or 2s or something. So it's crazy. It is crazy. And Black War Greymon is just beautiful. Again, if you run 4, I won't blame you. Moving on to the next Mega that I do have is this Gaiomon, really good. Man, oh man, when I first saw this card, I'm like, yeah man, this seems cool, but then once I built this deck and I started playing and seeing how it works, this is pretty nice. This is very nice. So it's a 5 cost to Digivolve from level 5. It doesn't really matter because he gets Blitz, and we'll discuss that how. If you do have a Black or Greymon, you can Digivolve on top of it, right? So this is when Black or Greymon goes off and learns the shogun ways, and he comes back as a samurai, right? So you Digivolve 2 on top of a Black or Greymon. So there's already combos that you can do here, like I said earlier. You can swing with the Black or Greymon. If you delete a Digimon, you unsuspend, and now you can Digivolve into this Gaiomon. This Gaiomon has security attack +1. It has reboot, as you can see. And then when you Digivolve, if this Digimon has black Digivolution card, you de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. If it has red, then he gets Blitz. So again, so you can check up to 3 cards with having Black or Greymon, and then going into that Gaiomon, and then swinging because you're gonna have Blitz. And then you don't even have to worry about afterwards because you have reboot. So they have to get rid of it with an option card, or an effect, not really swinging over it unless they can. Very good. As I said, 13,000 DP, and then with the Agumon, since it's treated as a Greymon, I didn't go over that. So this card, Digimon, is also treated as having Greymon in its name, which is very important because, like I said, this Agumon will trigger. So now that Gaiomon is going to be at 15,000 DP, and then with the Koromon here, now it's going to be at 16,000 DP. So the only thing is if you run into a Oryuken or a Paladin mode, because those are the only 2 cards with 16,000 DP in the whole Digimon TCG so far, then nothing's going to stop you unless you have option cards. But there's obviously ways around that too, right? So that's kind of how I built this, and that's why I switched Gurumon into the Koromon, as I said before. I did have a Death Xmon here, just because you'll see when I get to my Tamers, it kind of all plays out how it works. But then I'm like, you know what, there's gonna be times where you can swing 3 times, and let's say it's still your turn, you have the Black or Greymon, you have 3 memory left, or even 2, right? You can swing with the Black or Greymon, delete something, unsuspend, and then you can go into the Gaiomon for 2 cost, still your turn at 1 or 0, whatever you want to call it. Now you do security attack +1, and then if you get rid of everything, then you can Omni for game. So that is why I am doing just 1 Omni. You could do Zord Defeat if you want to. You can do Death Xmon, like I said. Death Xmon is obviously really good, and you're going to see it in a lot of decks. But for me, I love Omnimon. So I went back and forth with Death Xmon. Death Xmon is very clutch too. So I'll go in and out between using Death Xmon or Omnimon. So now here I'm running 1 Dark Gaia Force, and Dark Gaia Force, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose play costs add up to 15 and delete them. This is very good because you're able to control your opponent's board. So you can go wide, you could delete like an ultimate, 2 ultimates, maybe you could delete a mega, and then you can delete a rookie. I had 3 in this deck list, but I switched it and I ran 2 Gaia Forces. So now I was thinking about, okay, play costs add up to 15 or less. So in the whole Digimon TCG, there's only 1 card that this card cannot delete, even if it's in security. And I'm sure you already know, but if you don't know, Death Xmon. Play cost of 20. Dark Gaia Force will do nothing to this card if this card is out. And that is why I removed 2 Dark Gaia Forces and I add 2 Gaia Forces, because I still do want that effect of being able to control my opponent's board. But then if a Death Xmon is there, I can't even swing over it because it is at 15,000, right? I could get my Gaiomon up to 16,000. That'd be the only way to do it. But then if I don't, he's going to be at 15. I'd have to clash against it. And, I don't want to do that. So that is why you see the 2 Gaia Forces here. I did add 2 Gaia Forces. This Gaia Force I still think is probably one of the best red option cards for deletion, if not the best, just because straight up delete one of your opponent's Digimon. There's no requirements or nothing besides just having red on the board, right? And as you can see, all my cards are going to have red, so Even if my board gets cleared, I just go ahead and I just hatch. I have a Koromon, now I can play Gaia Force. Again, that is why I'm running the 2. And then moving on, since we are not running the X Antibody Greymon, I'm putting in 2 Delicate Plans. And the reason I run 2 is because 1 could get stuck in the bottom of the deck or in your security, and you're not going to see it until late game, and majority of the time they're going to be swinging for game anyway, since you kind of have this OTK format. So I am running 2. So if you don't know what this does, is one of your Digimon gains, this Digimon doesn't activate the security effects of any option cards it checks for the turn. Again, using this, and so even if you're at 1 memory, you have a Black or Greymon already, you could use a Delicate Plan. You could swing with Black or Greymon, not worry about option cards. And then you can unsuspend if you delete a Digimon, or even if you don't delete a Digimon, you can just go into Gaiomon. You already activated that Delicate Plan. Even if you put your opponent at 5, right? Even if you put him at 5, you're still going to get blitz. You can still attack. You can still check those 2. And now with a Delicate Plan there's nothing that could really stop you unless it's a Digimon that has higher DP than Gaiomon at that point. So that is the reason why I'm running 2 Delicate Plans, and that is why here, like I said, I took a Black or Greymon out and I added a Delicate Plan or either the extra Gaia Force. Moving on to the last cards here, we already talked about Gaia Force here, just running 2. I didn't talk about the security effect here. If you hit it in security, it just activates, and that's just busted. Okay, moving on to the best tamer of this deck list is this Maki. And I am running 4. You'll see why. On play, reveal the top 3 cards, add 1 Tapier and 1 2-color black card among them to your hand. Then you place the rest in the bottom. So you can get 2 cards just by playing Maki, right? As long as they're a dual colored black, which, hello, it's like every card besides Omnimon and obviously the option cards and the tamers. But other than that, you have Gaiomon. You have 1 target, 2 targets, 3 targets, 4 targets, 5 targets, 6 targets, 6 targets. But anyway, so it's a good searcher. I was like, damn, I thought it was going to be more, but you get the point. It's still a lot. It's a good searcher to help you get your missing pieces. And then during your turn, when one of your Digimon would digivolve into a 2-color black card, you may suspend this tamer to reduce the digivolution cost by 1. We go back to that Deltamon. We have two Makis. I was about to say hockey. We have 2 Makis. Your ultimates are all going to be free, and that's insane. Even if they memory choke you and you're at 1, you're going to digivolve for free to 4 for 4 if you have 2 Makis and a Deltamon, and then you can just go into Gaiomon, leave your opponent at 2, and now you have blitz because you have red and black, and it's just crazy. On top of the digivolving by 1, right? Which is very good, especially for this X Antibody format, because they're focusing on building up. Which is another reason why I thought of adding a Omnimon Alter S. You digivolve everything, but again, I'm going more for the swinging for game. So that is why I'm running 4 Makis, and it's just, she's crazy, man. And then the last tamer that I'm running is 2 ties, just for that memory. Always leave me at 3. And then all of your red Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution cards gain security attack +1. So there will be instances where your Gaiomon gets security attack +2, which is very, very good. And I did try running 3 and 3, but then I kind of didn't see Maki, and you want to see Maki more. Even if she hits from security, which is amazing. Now you get a tamer on the board, and then you search for free, and it's not even your turn yet. So now when it's your turn, now you're able to use her effect. And even if you play her during your turn, you can still use her during your turn. So it's very, very busted. And here we go. This is it. This is my Master Shogun Gaiomon Decklist. And man, I am having so much fun with this. I can't wait to show you guys some videos on how this works. Let me know your thoughts, your comments down below. And check out this next video.